Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very kind words. This is apparently my year to get attention. The Wire was on for 4 years, beginning in 2002. I guess we went on the air. And apparently you can make fun of politicians, school teachers, drug dealers, police officers, longshoremen, and nobody really gets exercise, but when you do your last season, you make fun of reporters. All of a sudden, they can't stop talking about you. So I'm on quite a little run here. I'm going to say something about that. I don't mean to be too self-referential, but I'm coming on a little run here with awards. This year, I got from the University of Texas the William Randolph Hearst Award. Yeah, and even better, from an organization very much like this in California, I got the Upton Sinclair Award. Now, this is really good stuff because if you know your American history, little history lesson here. 1934, Upton Sinclair ran for governor of California on one of the most progressive tickets ever offered. It was damn near socialist, and he was going to win. And of course, his great antagonist was William Randolph Hearst and the Hearst papers. And Hearst and his papers engaged in the kind of glorious character assassination that typifies American journalism in the 1930s, and certainly no time after that. And also the movie industry. Irving Thalberg and other people, they actually had fake newsreels of actors dressed up as hobos getting off trains at the California borders, and they would be interviewed and say, we're coming to California because after Sinclair's elected, we won't have to work ever again. And these were actors dressed up and filmed by studio people. And the same things in the newspapers. So I have the two awards on a little shelf, and I'm waiting for them to kick the shit out of each other. So here comes the Drum Major for Justice Award, and I feel even more of a fraud because it says Drum Major for Justice, Drum Major for Peace, Drum Major for Righteousness. And I confess that the only thing I can lay claim to, and the only thing, all of this should amount to is I've been a drum major for storytelling. That's it. I was a journalist by trade. Journalism went bad. I found some other way to make a living, but it really has been about telling stories that seemed credible to me, that seemed like the world that I had encountered when I was a reporter, that I could actually go out and report the elements of the story and then fictionalize it slightly, sometimes ever so slightly, and use it in such a way as to make an argument about how the world was. I have that journalist temperament that says other people will come in after me and they can argue about what it means, but I just want to get it right. And I think all the people who worked on The Wire and some of the cast, Clark Johnson and Seth Gilliam and Reg Cathy are here tonight, and all the people who worked on the show, from the directors, producers, to the cast and crew. It was really a craft of trying to sort of represent the real. And I'm not sure we gave a lot of thought to the impact. I heard a lot of things that we said at the end there when we're being interviewed, but I'm not sure I believe some of them. If your mother says she loves you, check it out. That's the rule if you're a reporter. Anyway, the truth is I did the one for Hearst because it just cracked me up. The guy spinning in his grave, if he knows my politics. And I did the one for Upton Sinclair because, hey, I read The Jungle in high school, and it was a good book. But I did this one because I learned a little bit about the Drum Major Institute, and the thing that I admire most in their work is the emphasis on research and analysis, on voting records, on what policies work and what don't, on the empirical logic behind why a policy is rational or why it's irrational, or why it's doing damage or why it's not doing damage. The reason I brought up that election in 1934 is it is regarded by historians as the first modern American election, in the sense that the governorship California was decided by pure ad hominem, an argument about, who was evil, who was good, who was a bad guy, who associated with whom, who you could put a label on, who was a communist, who wasn't a communist. And they used the modern media to transform what began as an argument about policy into an argument about personality. And Sinclair was defeated in the end. And it really was the template for our modern political system. I mean, all you have to do is watch this current election now and know that we haven't come very far. If you want to watch this election and find out what anybody thinks about housing policy or cities or No Child Left Behind or short of the most grandiose and generalized statements, knowledge is good, education is good, everyone should have housing. It is a vacuum. We elect people in a vacuum. And so I very much admired that core value of DMI. And I decided to do this one on that basis because for me, that's the paradigm of telling stories. I'm actually interested in what might be, you never quite get true is a big word, but closer to true, or closer to accurate. And of course, the other thing is to try to do it in such a way that you're not just preaching to the choir, that you actually change somebody's mind about what's accurate. So, it really seemed like that was something that in this culture we can't get enough of. And I'm very gratified to get this. I do not feel as if I've lived up to all the other big words, but the storytelling actually, we all on the wire were quite proud of it, and I really do thank you for this. And I'm very honored to receive the award along with Ms. Mark Viverito, I got that right, and Mr. Phillips. And I do feel as if they're actually engaged in the actual substantive act of trying to change things. And me, I'm just looking for the next story to tell, and I feel like I'm on their coattails, and feels good, but a little bit unwarranted. Thank you very much.